Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I've got for you tonight is going to blow your mind. Make sure you watch the entire length of this video, because not only are we going to talk about what the left is really afraid of with this gun control rhetoric you're hearing, but also I'm going to show you what the federal government is actually using as a case in point to further infringe upon your Second Amendment rights. You cannot make this stuff up, and please send this one out to get as many people aware of this as possible. Now, if you are a new or returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and making sure that notification bell is on. We need as many people as we can to get into the fold so we can pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. Thank you so much in advance for your consideration, and we are going to dive into this. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think after a quick word from our sponsor, LAS Concealment. Now, if you're in the market for a holster for your favorite freedom tool, LAS Concealment has some stuff you might want to see. With LAS Concealment, you get a custom piece of equipment for said freedom tool made out of Kydex, specifically for a design of the make and model that you desire. This has been tested out by the world's elite special forces. As I said, it is made of Kydex, and you have the ability for inside and outside the waistband options. There's a link in the description box below, and thank you so much to LAS Concealment for making this content possible. But my brothers and sisters, I'm going to get into this really quickly because there's so much absurdity, it's hard to actually sort it out in a 5-minute video. Do you guys recall, and let me know in the comments field if you do, during the Texas machining case, now this is the ghost gun case, we covered this pretty good amount where the actual ATF, the DOJ, was citing the reason for historical analogs for gun control is because they infringed upon Native Americans and Catholics. Because if you don't remember that, go watch those videos. If you do remember that, let me know in the comments field. But I got some more crazy for you. Check this out. Everything is always linked, and this is actually something that we talked about on Second Legacy with Tim as well. Supreme Court's expansion of gun rights puts decades-old domestic abuser ban in peril. Some lower court judges have rejected firearm bans for alleged abusers subject to protective orders. Now, the left is going apoplectic about this because they're making it all about the rhetoric around abusers are now getting guns. The key phrase there is alleged. This is allegation-based. That's what the ruling was, but the left is making this all about domestic violence, which is not what it is about. This is something that we dove into deeply on Second Legacy, the channel that me and Tim from Military Arms Channel started. It's all down in the description box if you want to check out that video as well in that channel, but I'm going to jump right to the end to listen to the new analog that is now a reason that you can't have your Second Amendment rights. Check this out, and I quote, "The government likened the domestic abuser statute to historical laws that kept guns away from suspected British loyalists and entire classes of residents deemed to be a threat, reaching as far back as the English Militia Act of 1662, which allowed officers to seize arms from people judged dangerous to the peace of the kingdom." The federal government is actually citing back when you didn't have rights, when you weren't an actual country, and you were a danger to the kingdom as a reason to infringe upon your Second Amendment rights. Red flags, anyone? Because we're about to hit those as well. But let's keep going. Let me show you some other stuff that the reason they're so upset about this, and then I'm going to unravel it a little bit further. Federal law for nearly 30 years has barred gun possession for alleged domestic abusers, but the ban is coming under pressure from judges who say it is at odds with the Supreme Court's recent expansion of Second Amendment rights. As I always say, the Bruin decision, which is what they're referencing, did not expand gun rights. It curtailed gun control. That's an incredibly important nuance to understand and repeat. Did not expand gun rights, it curtailed gun control. Again, going back to the allegations, what this is saying in this court decision is that you can't have your rights taken from you that's in the Bill of Rights, as in your Second Amendment rights, or your freedom of speech, pick the number. You can't just have it taken away from you based on an allegation. You actually have to have a conviction of some sort. That's what they said, but they're trying to wrap this in the, well, domestic abusers now going to get guns. Bruin is clearly bad case law. No, it's manipulation, and we're going to get to it in a second because there's a reason, very specifically, they're doing this. Under federal law, convicted felons are banned from owning firearms, as are those convicted of misdemeanor domestic violence charges. The ban on gun ownership in the protective order cases is different, applying to individuals who are subject to civil court orders that bar them from threatening or harassing an intimate partner. Spouses who fear for their safety can obtain such orders even if there is no corresponding criminal proceedings. That's what the court hit. I've mentioned this a few times. That's what me and Tim were talking about on our episode on Second Legacy. This was all about allegations. If you have all of your rights stripped from you because of allegations, you don't have those rights. Those are now privileges. And that's an important piece to understand while we go through this. But one more thing, and then I'm going to tie it to what they're really trying to protect here with all this marketing they're doing. Defenders of the domestic violence gun ban have struggled to find evidence of states in 17s and 1800s seizing guns from the homes of violent spouses. Because back then, you could not infringe upon the Second Amendment whatsoever. It was not about allegations, it was about the right to keep and bear arms, which is what the Bruen decision is hearkening back to. They have 100 years of gun control, which they have pushed incrementally over that time frame, and now it's becoming unwound because it's unconstitutional, specifically in the historical analogs of this country. But that gets to our next point. They are afraid that red flag laws are going to be the next curtain to fall, or the next curtain to, I don't know, curtain's the wrong word, the last pillar to fall, because in 19 states and the District of Columbia, the red flag laws have no due process built into them. You have your rights stricken from you based off of an allegation just like this. And that is why they are making this the biggest deal ever around something that it's truly not, because they are trying to protect the red flag laws that are going to be on the chopping block next. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments field below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.